What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at Vader Hall of Fame. Our trial has started for him. We get him for the next couple of days. And then come this weekend for, I want to say it's boss battle, you have a chance to get him, from polls and stuff like that. Me personally, I think he looks pretty freaking phenomenal. If I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he looks really great, but unfortunately, this is that time where pay period's a little low. Not gonna be able to try for him. So we're gonna be looking at the moves today. I do have a belt on him. I stripped Mr. Perfect of his. We do have full Fury 2 across the board, just no plate. And honestly, that doesn't really bother me. So immediately looking at the moves, I'm already seeing triple black being really solid. I'm seeing triple green be very solid. I'm seeing double green and yellow being very solid, especially with heavy machinations. I'm seeing quite a few builds here. So this video is going to be long. It is going to be a little drawn out. We're going to be switching out trainers. We're going to be checking some things. So if long videos aren't for you, sorry, it's kind of what this is. So first and foremost, I'm looking at triple black. We got the Lariat Takedown. We're going to deal 125,000 damage and choose 4 rows to make into immobile gems. Then we're going to deal 268,000 damage and increase your black MP by 5. Ultimately, this right here is screaming out to me solely because it's not hardcore. It's not anything extra. It is literally 2 moves in one. Love it, leave it, doesn't matter to me. Our running power slam is going to deal 123,833 damage plus plus 49,133 bonus damage for every immobile gem. Pretty strong in my opinion. It might be a little weaker, but I have a resolve for that. Vader Salt is our finisher. We're going to deal 178,666 damage and make 35 immobile gems into black gems. This is pretty straightforward, and I don't see really that much negative coming from it. So since it's only going to be on the tour, I'm just going to kind of dick around with the moves or with the trainers a little bit. Nothing too drastic. We already know we're going to go with Xavier for our plus 4 MP. That's kind of a given. Now, where I really want to play around with is the immobile gems. That looked interesting for all of 3 seconds, and then I changed my perspective. So I'm looking essentially for immobile gems. Ludwig, I saw 75%. I'm immediately going to click on him. I did not think of him from the get-go, so I'm just going to kind of lean into that kind of deal. You also have Rocky Maivia. Ludwig, everyone should have. He's free to play. You should have already brought him up. So yeah, I'm just going to stick with Ludwig. Better options. So immobile gems, we have a couple of routes we can go down. We can go with Acro Live for a little bit of power towards the end there. But we also have LWO Eddie. We have Hogan. We have Liv. Z-Liv is what I'm going to throw on 100% because she takes up 2 different realms of it. It's almost 100% here on those immobile gems. The mobile gem portion for 60% is helping out our bonus damage. And then the black gems, obviously the 30% plus the 60 is 90 for there. So I want to see right here. We're looking at 127,463. So let's look at just switching off for LWO Eddie for a second. We're going to go with Eddie instead of Liv. That looks a lot crisper. The other alternative for this is Powerhouse Hogan. At Max Trainer, it is 100, or he adds 100% immobile damage. So obviously that one will be better there. So let's give this a shot. I'm not expecting it to move mountains, but I am expecting it to do a little something, something. We're on the road right now for his tour, kind of doing 2 birds with 1 stone, knocking out the video while knocking out the tour at the same time. There is a showdown going on that ultimately I kind of need to be a part of because I have a majority of the cards. And it is a choose area, so that is nice. We can fit that right in this area and get some bonuses off these side ones here. That's going to go there, increase our MP, which is perfect. Let's see what this damage is going to do ultimately. So we're at 15 million. About 4 million. That's not bad. It could be better. It could be worse. But ultimately, we're getting rid of them. I like these moves that do 2-in-1s. It makes me feel like we're using a 4-slot move set. So from the get-go, we did about 5 million damage total. So 5 million damage is kind of where we're sitting for our numbers right now. Again, is it moving mountains? Not necessarily. The fact that you can't do this twice or can't cheese this twice kind of bums me out a little bit. but it is what it is. This should make him sit down and think of his life choices. I personally feel like the dude who is Fandango did that right before he left WWE. So we done 2 turns. Not bad, not bad. You're going to go through a full cycle. The beautiful thing about this is really you don't need a double MP, I don't believe. Let's see what the MP costs for that black move. The first one. I think it's a 6. I want to say it's a 6 or a 7. It is a 7. So ultimately, you're looking at this. I'm looking at this as kind of a I'm gonna put this in A tier because the reason why it's doing 140% is because of Ludwig and move charges. Let's see here. We got blacks and he does bleed, so that doesn't really matter. Leech gems doesn't matter. Blast gems don't matter. Flat out no bonuses from DiBiase there. So there's 4 options. Nikki's submission doesn't really apply here. And Damien is multiply gems, doesn't really apply here. The one that would apply here is Powerhouse Sammy, but he's green moves. So yeah, that's ultimately if you switch out for any of the +2s, which you really need to for this to go off, you're losing quite a bit. But even with LWO Eddie and Liv there, we're still over 100,000. So it's still going to be a 2-turn cycle. Not really too impressive, but we'll get through tours relatively quickly, which is a positive. This one, on the other hand, I believe is going to be the strongest one out of all of it. We're going to try the other deal here in just a minute, replacing the, you know what, we already have the trainers on there, so let's just do that real quick. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's stay where we need to stay. So German suplex going up to replace out the running power slam. Our German suplex is a 1 charge, so it's going to charge every single time, which is a wonderful thing. We're going to deal 134,000 damage and increase our black gem damage by 100% for 1 turn. Another one that would be very good here is Tori. I believe that's who it is. She does the +2 black. And then, let's see here. Okay, so, yeah, Tori. Does black moves start with 2 more, and black gems are 40% more. She would be very, very good in this slot for feuds if you are lucky enough to have her and you do get Vader. Her being here is going to be a very solid plus. So what we're going to wind up doing, though, is, again, since we're on tour, we are going to switch out a couple of things. We're going to keep Zombie Liv there just for shits und giggles. And then let's go with our nice little King Naka. There you go. We'll go King Naka there. And then instead of LWO Eddie, we're going to go with Zombie Edge. We're going to just kind of deal as much damage as humanly possible off this finisher. And to me, 12K flat is going to feel a whole hell of a lot better, especially with us surrounding other black gems. That's the whole premise. So by surrounding other black gems, we're going to get double the value. So this should do a lot more damage than the previous moveset. Facing against Butch, strikers are notorious for lower HP. So I see this actually going pretty smooth. If it goes past turn 1, I'll be pleasantly surprised. So we want to go there. Let's go with these ones. Kind of encompass this area a little bit. That gives us 5 additionals. So we're going to increase by 100%. I failed to mention that all of these moves are 100,000. So I see really only a 200% solid color being of value for that belt. 5.5 mil. You know what? That's pretty solid. I am a little surprised he kicked out, but then again, I'm never really fully surprised. I understand scope lie odds. So where we can't kick out, they'll always kick out. So still on a 2-turn clock, still doing relatively good damage. At 6-star bronze, this is definitely, or this triple black and this moveset at 6-star bronze, definitely a 6-star bronze sweeper moveset. Again, this is just initial reactions to what these can do. I am 99.99999% positive that there are plates that go on this that'll make it 10 times stronger than what it is. I'm sure there's other trainers that I don't have that are going to make this 10 times better than what it is. I'm just not one of those lucky people that has all that at their disposal. So I'm sure some other content creators are coming up with a lot higher in-depth damage for all these, and I'm just sitting here looking pretty. So this move set, I believe, is going to be the strongest. And that's solely because of how many power gems are going out. So we're looking at the Choke Slam. This one is dealing 312,000 damage, one of the highest out of all of these, I believe. It is the highest outside of the Bear Hug. The Bear Hug is going to do this or do the most, and that's going to come next. But really, looking at this and what we've got here, this is going to be super, super, super solid. It really just is. So our Choke Slam is we're going to deal 312,666 damage and make 15 random gems into Power Gems of Strength 134. That is going to be followed up by the Body Avalanche, and we're going to deal 121,000 and increase our strength of our Power Gems by 44,666, which on paper, not that great, but when you add in our trainers that we're going to throw on top of this, it's going to balance out very, very quickly. And then our Short Arm Clothesline, we're going to deal 115,910 damage and choose 6 gems to destroy. Now, while I'm looking at this, before I even go to the trainers, I want to look at plates. One plate that comes to mind, and I just saw it too, is Shock the System. Whenever you break 3 or more green gems, make 7 black gems into yellow gems. That could be very good for a 1-2 hit and a recharge. Another one I wanted to look at is Heavy Machinations. So it's a basic plate. Whenever you break 3 or more yellow gems, you get 3 green move points at the end of your turn. The reason I'm looking at this and thinking, maybe this one will actually do some justice is from the fact that our Short Arm Clothesline is 3. So if we go into this thought process, looking for a plate perspective, what I would do if the plate is on here is I would simply go with Animal and NWO Perfect for the MP coaches. So that way, all moves are ready to go turn 1. And I'm basing all the rest of my damage off of the coaches. So I would set this up like this. Give me just a second. I'm going to do my gem modifiers real quick, and we'll come up with something spicy. Okay, so 167, 500, 180, 900, 180, 400. So we're actually going to use Brie instead, just because of that extra pump up. And I'm not going to utilize the second half, so there's really no point. Okay, so looking at this from a plate perspective, the way I see this going is you do Animal, right? Animal comes out, or you have Animal for your greens, you have NWO Perfect for your greens and your yellow. You essentially are going to hit the Choke Slam, which is going to make, Nikki actually did make a deal with making 16 instead of 15. So way better than Riddle. Our Choke Slam, we're going to hit the Choke Slam, we're going to hit the Body Avalanche. Using the Short Arm Clothesline, we would break 3 yellow to recharge the Short Arm Clothesline, which we're going to do in-game anyways. That is going to charge up the Body Avalanche and the Choke Slam a little bit. Doing it a second time, if we're lucky enough to have 6 on the board, would charge that up again. Ultimately, I'm leaning more towards MP plates now than ever before. Having all those fancy ultimate plates and everything is great, but I have absolutely gotten destroyed in the past 2 months by people just using straight up MP plates. I'm actually considering just abandoning my quest for the sigil and going with every single MP plate I can, as many as I possibly can. For a lot of the cards that I don't have the specialties for, I can throw that MP plate on, and I can just make things go a little bit smoother. So we're going to run this real quick into Cody Rhodes. Let's see how well this goes. Power Gem guy versus Power Gem guy. Right now, I'm relatively impressed with Vader. I'm looking at the triple black being A tier. I'm looking at the other build being A tier as well. Nothing drastic. We're hitting 180,000 gems here, or 180,000 power on the gems, increasing those by 44. And actually right here, this is a perfect example. We could actually be doing very, very well here with Heavy Machinations. We would be able to get it off, or to go off twice. So we go click, click, click. That would charge this up by 3. And then we go click, 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 which again would charge that up completely, giving me more to run with. And then I hit this. This is already done and over with. There's no real reason to continue this fight. He is done. He is on the ground. He is whining for his mama. That is one turn done and done. I am not displeased by this. But the reason I would continue to have the heavy machinations on there is even though he did win turn 1, he is a 6-star bronze sweeper at this portion. That could have gone a lot smoother for a 6-star silver fight. And that's ultimately where I lean with it, is it's going to knock out a 6-star silver. Having heavy machinations on there, you know what? This is for all of you guys. I personally believe having another heavy machinations is not going to kill me. I'm not too excited for the Dead Man Sigil. I don't necessarily need it. I've got better options than what I would throw it on anyhow. So I'm just going to come in here and see if we have a heavy machinations available for me to grab, which we do. So we're going to snag that. We're going to make sure this works the way I believe it's going to work. And we're going to hope and pray for something beautiful to come from this. Ultimately, this is going to be reliant on, it's going to be board dependent. That's for sure. Having at least 6 yellow gems on the board is what's going to make this worthwhile. So let's go into our belt real quick. We are going to slap on the heavy machinations. I believe this is what's going to help out a lot. Of course, there was a data conflict. There's always a data conflict when I apply a new plate. Fix your shit. That's all I got to say. Just fix your shit. Okay, we're going to go in with the same exact build, but now we have heavy machinations. Let's see what this does. And since this is a super basic plate, anybody lucky enough to get Vader should be able to run this easy peasy lemon parcheesi. The only real difference is I totally understand not everyone has NWO perfect. That one is kind of a given. We do have 6, so we are looking relatively well here. I do understand that is a thing, but it is possible to get him. You're just going to have to spend money and do the poll. So obviously you're going to want to try someone different. Now that charged that up nicely. I liked that. Now we go here, here, here. Yes, we are losing some of our power gems. That is okay. Okay, so that ripped another 3 million off of his life total. We're going to slap this again, hit him into the ground, make him beg for mercy. And now we are looking at 7 million health. Okay. So looking at 7 million health, what do we want to do here? We want to start going for greens. We're going to start hitting everything that's not a power gem. I understand that's probably not the best route to do it, but I want to see. No, he's done. He's done. That was the best possible route. Don't get rid of any of the power gems. We are looking at a 6-star silver killer at 6-star bronze with Vader and that heavy machinations plate. Getting that second power gem, or getting those other 16 power gems out and increasing yet again for another 44,600 is amazing. So now we're going to go with what I feel is probably going to be the secondary. And the reason why I believe it's going to be the secondary is all 3 of our greens are 7 cost. We're not going to be able to do our fun little rotation. But again, this comes where the heavy machinations is going to come into play as well. Is if you are or if you're on defense and you're running this and everything like that, your opponent throws you into submission. Having the heavy machinations on there is going to charge these back up, and hopefully the AI runs it the way it needs to run. So we're adding in, instead of doing the destruction, we are doing the bear hug. It's a color submission. Place 6 submission gems and do 321,600 damage for 3 turns. While submission gems are on the board, submission gems turn into green gems. That I don't like their wording ever because I always mess it up reading it. So what I'm gathering from this is we are now able to hit the choke slam, hit the body avalanche, do control with the bear hug. By those creating green gems, we are triggering out our power gems. We're going to lose some of the power gems in the process of all of this because they are going to be swiping and everything else. But come second turn, we're going to hit this again, hit here, and it's just going to keep going on a constant recycle that is going to dwindle them down while keeping their MP down. So that to me is a very solid thing. Let's see if we have a good enough trainer for here. I kind of want to aim towards worst case scenario. I'll throw on Bailey getting this at over half mil damage. But I think the green submission, I don't know if I have that one. I don't think I have that trainer. Let's see. Green moves deal more damage, or do 50% more. Black, silence, green moves. I guess it doesn't exist yet, or I'm just bypassing it, which I could be doing that too. It's been a long day. I'm recording this after I went and tore down a wall and was working. So you'll have to forgive me for my brain not fully registering what it needs to register, and I may have passed it already 3 or 4 times. Let me know if the comments if I passed by it. But no, I'm guessing I did. Another thing you could do is Big Papa Pump for the green gems. That's a solid number, or that's a solid answer too. Is Big Papa Pump doing 35% increase on the green gems that come out? But I'm gonna stick with Bailey. Might as well. Just getting this a little bit more damage. It doesn't upset me in the slightest. We're gonna go against Ray again and just kind of knock him out of the sky. Ray, I'm super excited to get to. Once I get him, I am planning on taking him up immediately to 6-star silver so I can do the video on that. So keep eyes open for that. It's going to be a fun video, I can already tell. So I'm looking at, or as these are going, I am looking at the board and already pre-planning exactly where I'm going to drop all of these gems. So just a thought for everybody else for in the future for gameplays and stuff like that. Always try and think 5 steps ahead. That's a pretty solid slap to the face with those power gems out. And now we're refilled. We're just going to hit it again. And bam. It's not the fastest in the world, but it's about to be. This is turn 2 where we're doing a lot of damage in one shot. And I appreciate it. So let's bring this up top here. Let's get that away from everything else. If it breaks, it breaks. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That damage coming out from those power gems is just, it's done. He's done. Definitely done. So from what I'm gathering on all of this is Vader is going to be far better than Kurt Angle ever was, ever could be. He is replacing Kurt same way as Brutus replaced Hall of Fame Nash and Anvil replaced X-Pac. They're better replacements. Let's just put it that way. And from what I'm looking at here, we used every single move that he has available effectively in different combinations. So for the breakdown for this video, I would go and say that it's A tier for Triple Black. It is A+ tier for the Lariat Takedown, the German Suplex, and the Vader Salt. That's A+. It's S tier for the Triple Green, which like I said before, I believe will get better by some sort of plate that I'm not thinking about. Most likely will be by another creator who has come up with this already and has their team already looking over it. That's just me. But the S+ tier, and the reason why he is an S+ tier, I believe will solely come from this. The choke slam, the body avalanche, and the short arm clothesline. Implementing those 3 moves with the heavy machinations plate, I see you winning turn 1 in under 2 minutes, roughly, if you have a ×2 speed up button, but at least at a 2.5 minute mark with the 1.25 speed up for feuds. He is going to be phenomenal for boss battles, strictly on the power gem, obviously. That's going to do quite a bit. He's still going to be below a couple of cards power gem strength-wise, and that's okay. They're all not meant to be broken. But yes, Vader is going to be a very good card. I do like the versatility. I do like the fact that even during boss battle as well, you can run for immobile gems, for black gems, you can run triple black. He is boss battle efficient. He's not going to be a carry by any means. He is not going to be a carry, but he is going to be an assist. He is going to help out drastically, and he could potentially be a very good shield breaker, given the fact you're doing 4 rows. So you're doing 7, 14, 21, 28. 28 gems, breaking those off of 2 moves alone could be very good for shield breaks for boss battles. For Showdown, I'd avoid him. I would avoid him at all costs at Showdown, especially with this chokeslam and this body avalanche and the short arm clothesline. If they have a heavy machinations plate, I would avoid, because this is going to be a time waster. You know the AI is going to run it to where it's going to be a time waster. So with all of that being said, Vader and we're going to leave you the same way I always leave you. Life can be fun if you allow it to be. We'll see you in the next video.